What's up, guys? I'm Tim. This is New Craft Workshop. If you've been here before, welcome back. We truly appreciate each and every one of you guys. If this is your first time checking out the content we have here on our channel, we appreciate you giving us a shot today. We do some really awesome beginners-friendly builds on this particular series, and today we got another one. We are building this really cool toilet paper holder.
TP for my bunghole?
Now, we've built a toilet paper holder in the past. It was kind of wall mounted. It was a little bit smaller. I had a request for a floor standing model, and that's what we're doing today. So as always, every time we do one of these builds on this particular series, we start with our cut list. We are going to be needing some 1x8 and 1x6 material today. We're using standard dimensional lumber from the big box stores. If you want to use something a little more elevated and make this a little nicer, feel free to do so, but today's project we're building out of 1x4 and 1x6. No, 1x6, 1x8. So back to this cut list, I'm so sorry. Top and bottom of our TP holder is made from 1x8. We're going to need two pieces, one for the top, one for the bottom, 12 inches long. We're going to need 3 pieces for our shelves. Those are made from our 1x6 material. Those are cut to 6 inches long. And then each of our 2 sides are from the 1x6 material as well. Those are cut to 27 inches long. So first thing we need to do is we need to talk about your tool list. So we're going to keep this beginner friendly. I am going to actually elevate my particular build today, and I'm going to use the router table. If you don't have a router or a router table, you do not need to chamfer the edges like you're going to see me do today. But tool list, you're going to need a saw to cut everything to length. You're going to need a brad nailer or a hammer and nails. You're going to need a drill with a countersink, and you are going to need some wood glue, some screws, your basic shop materials like that. So now let's head over to that miter saw and get everything cut to length. All right, so we are back from the miter saw. We've got our 2 top pieces, our 3 shelves, and our 2 sides. Now we're going to get everything sanded. We're going to sand both sides of this, but we're not going to spend a whole lot of time on this because, as you saw in the intro video, this project gets painted. So I'm going to run this over both sides fairly well with my orbital sander. We're just going to use a 180 grit, and once that's done, we can get on to the next step. So let's do this. All right, everything is sanded and we are actually ready to get this thing assembled. However, I told you I was making this for someone, so this is going to get a step up elevated that you might or might not want to do. I'm actually going to run over to the router table. So I'm going to put a chamfer on 3 edges of the top and bottom, and then I'm going to chamfer the face outside, the side facing out of my 2 side pieces and my 3 shelves. So let's hit this router table real quick. All right, let's get this assembly started. So what I've done here is I've taken this particular piece at 8 inches wide and our sides at 6 inches because I want this offset just a little bit. We're going to mount all of the backs of all of these components flush, and we're going to get started by putting our 2 side assemblies together. These 2 are basically going to go like this, and we are going to measure 6 inches in between each of these cavities here, each of these shelves to form a cavity because we need room for our toilet paper to rest on each one of these shelves. So the first thing we need to do is we need to mark up from the bottom. We're going to mark up 6 inches. Then we're going to mark up 3/4 from there because we need to account for the thickness of our shelves. And then we're going to do 6 inches, 3/4, 6 inches, 3/4, and that is going to give us all of our places where our shelves are going to mount. So from the bottom, we're going to go 6, and I am going to put a mark on either of these two boards, and then we're going to go 3/4 from that. And again, in between that is where our shelf is going to mount. So our next cavity is 6 inches from 6 3/4, which puts us at 12 3/4. And 13 1/2 would be our next measurement for that, and so on. So let's finish marking this out. Right here, hopefully this shows up on camera, we have our marks where our shelves are going to get installed. That's going to give us a 6-inch opening in each of these cavities for our toilet paper to rest, and then that's going to give us a 7-inch cavity at the top for our toilet paper to be able to spin, and you'll be able to get in there and pull the little spring-loaded TP holder out. So, all right, and one thing I forgot to tell you in the tool list, which I know it popped up, but I didn't actually say it because I edit that, of course, after I film all of this, is now it's time to use that Forstner bit that we talked about. It is the diameter of the end of your TP roll holder. That is going to be completely determined by you and your TP holder. If you get this exact one from the Home Depot, this down here is the dimensions of the Forstner bit I popped up in the tool list. So let's get over to the drill press and let's drill some holes. All right, so our top opening where we're drilling our hole is actually more than 6 inches. It's actually, I think, 6 3/4. So we're gonna kind of split that. We're gonna come down 3 1/2. We'll come down 3 1/2 from the top. And then the center of a 1x6 is not 6, it's 2 3/4. So we're gonna put a mark there. And right there is where we want to drill our 2 holes with our Forstner bit. Now, we're not going to go very deep. The dimple on the end of our TP holder is very shallow, so we just need a really shallow cut, and that's why we're using a Forstner bit. All right, let's get this thing assembled. Again, we're going to start with some wood glue, and we are going to brad this in place just to make sure that we don't have to clamp it. If you want to clamp this, feel free. Brads are going to hold it in place plenty good enough, well enough, whatever you want to say. It's going to hold it in place. So we're just going to place this in here in our marks that we made, and feel free to use something like a framing square or a speed square, whatever you happen to have, any kind of square that you might have, just to keep this aligned. Then we're going to flip this over, pop a couple brads in here, and of course mine came apart. We're going to try this again. And I'm going to pop 3 in each side of mine just to make sure that it's holding it. Again, if you're clamping it up, there's no need to brad this in place. All right, now we can just simply glue up and tack the other side in place, and then we'll get on to the next step. All right, we've got our main component assembled. It's now time to get it mounted on our base. I designed this size-wise to be cut at 12 inches just to make it easy. That means basically from either end, we're gonna have to come in 2 1/4 inches from either side. That's gonna give us our center of when we mount this. So, as with everything here on this particular channel, I eyeball a lot of stuff, and this particular piece is no different. So I'm just going to kind of put a little line on the outside here. That's going to get painted over, so it's not going to really matter. That's going to allow me to set this up, make sure it stays right where it needs to stay. And then this right here, I am gonna go ahead and just pre-drill and put a screw in the bottom of either one of these. We'll glue our top on, but the bottom, I'm just gonna pre-drill and screw just to make sure that it stays in place and we don't have anything down the road. I'm not sure what would ever happen, but let's just screw it because that's the way I designed it. And if you don't want to screw yours, make it your own. And I'm just going to put one in either side. That's probably overkill anyway, but that's what we're doing today. All right, time for our top. That will get glued into place. Again, we're just going to center this 2 1/4 from either end. We're going to put some glue in here, and then I'm just going to place something heavy on this. We're going to allow this to dry, and once the glue is set up and this thing is ready for paint, we'll get after the finishing process. I'll show you exactly what we're using to paint this thing up. It's pretty simple. I think all you guys can handle paint, but through the magic of editing, let's let this dry, and I'll see you guys in a second. All right, so this is what we're using. This is called cashew. I'm colorblind, like a large percentage of men, so I know this is kind of tannish looking, but yeah, Waverly chalk paint. It's going to give this a nice, smooth, kind of rustic finish. And I'll be honest with you, when we're done with this, I have a feeling I'm going to ask my wife to kind of do her little thing where she kind of even does this technique where it makes it look even like more old and rustic. I'm just putting the base coat on. But yeah, if you've never used acrylic paint before, super easy to work with, water cleanup, and it's going to cover and hide really quick any imperfections you might have on your project. And again, no need to prime. So let's get after it. Let's paint this thing up. That's it. Some 1x6s, a couple pieces of a 1x8, and we have this awesome toilet paper holder. So if you have not already, please go down in the description and check out some of the links, which are going to be a link to the Facebook group, which is growing, and I hope all of you guys will take the time to join that group as well as some links to all of the items we used to get this project built today. Every time you click on any of those links, it gets you over to Amazon, where you can just do your shopping as normal and benefit Newcraft Workshop in the process. 1 week from today, we've got another beginner's style project headed your way. If you haven't already, go ahead and click that subscribe button and join us each and every week. Turn on those notifications so that you always know when we post a new video. Give us a thumbs up for today. Hopefully you're going to give us a thumbs up for today. It takes 2 seconds to click that button, and it really helps the channel. If you watch the video, click the thumbs up button. Last but not least, make sure you leave us a comment. That's all I got for you today. We will catch you in 1 week with another beginner style project. So we're out. Catch you on YouTube.